I do believe how many of our symptoms actually overlap. Remember in the program, how many people with all different diagnoses, and you're like, you had that too? I had that too. I had that too. Like, it's crazy. Now, we have a case study. I'd love to have Rosanna pop in. Rosanna, welcome. So, Rosanna, you graduated from a program how long ago?
It's been exactly almost a year.
And she's a typical patient that joins our program because, Rosanna, you were dealing with lichen sclerosis, which is an autoimmune attack against skin, connective tissue. And what kind of symptoms were you having prior to joining the program?
Oh, I lived with years of excruciating pain, vaginal dryness. The skin down there, and this is probably TMI, but it looked like it was dead. I mean, dead. And it was very fragile. So, intimacy was very painful. And I also, my pelvic floor sometimes felt like it was falling like out of me. I feel like I didn't have any tone down there as
Right.
well.
As I recall, did you not have early menopause as well? Because that's a really common pattern.
Yes, I did. I had menopause around 38 is when, well,
That's
I,
early menopause sisters, autoimmune
yeah,
sisters.
we have a lot of the same stories. I
What the
mean,
heck?
I know.
Because I mean, I think I remember, like, even though you graduated a year ago, I think you had brain fog. Did you have hair loss as well?
I did have hair loss as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, and then pain, like severe pain. And then periods wise, since you had early menopause, no periods since the age of 38, right?
Yeah, I assume they put me on the pill after the birth of my second daughter because at 31, all of a sudden my periods were, 2 weeks long, heavy bleeding. And so they said, let's put you back on the pill. And I was on it nonstop until I was 37. So then I took myself off the pill because I just said, I want to know what my body's doing naturally. And then my period never came back. So that's
So,
only when they finally tested my hormones. Is
so
when
here's
I,
the thing is, so many of us get put on these decades long of birth control pills. That was me.
I was.
I was, because we have all these, you can't make this up. All three women here were put on long-term birth control pills, not necessarily for birth control, but to control quote unquote hormone symptoms.
Yes.
What happened to me was after I got off the birth control pill, I couldn't get pregnant for the longest ass time because it really suppressed my hormone production. And that whole birth control pill and even getting on and off it triggered my autoimmune disease. So that's my story with that. What about you, Rosanna?
yes, it's funny that you had mentioned how you had mastitis. After I had my
Yeah.
first daughter, I had mastitis as well. I had no one when you just said that, I thought, what? Oh my gosh, I had that as well. Terrible insomnia, postpartum depression.
Me
And then
too.
when I tried to get pregnant, 3.5 years later, I was trying to get pregnant with my second daughter, and it took a long
Yeah.
time to get pregnant. So,
Yeah, and it wasn't until you said that you got off the birth control pill, found that you had no periods for a period of time, then they tested you and they were like, "Oh, now you're in early menopause, but you're only 38. You weren't like
right.
88."
And I said, this is not normal. I've never been diagnosed with neuropathy, but my fingertips were
Me
having
too. What are we, neuropathy sisters?
blisters. Yeah. And cold, like cold all the time. Like
Yeah.
I would come in from the winter and then have to go and put my hand on hot water at Target, before I go shopping and stuff.
Yeah.
And that went away.
I mean, you had uveitis and glaucoma. Was your ophthalmologist, are you even aware that there was an autoimmune link with them?
No, I started questioning it when I started looking at some of the other things. I connected when I got the lichen sclerosis, and I started, the time that I was stalking you, I started making all these connections, and I thought, wow, perhaps this glaucoma and uveitis is also related to my autoimmunity.
Bingo.
Right. And I asked that question because it happened when I was recovering from shingles.
Yep.
So when I had shingles, that's when like,
I had
bam,
shingles. What the heck?
I know. I had a massive flare, and that's when everything just kind of went
Do you
crazy.
guys see
And
these patterns though, Rosanna? At
yeah.
36, I had a shingles flare on my left hip the same time I went into early menopause.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And Rosanna's a typical case.
Yeah.
Like, this is a typical story, and it's so funny. I do believe how many of our symptoms actually overlap. Remember in the program how many people with all different diagnoses, and you're like, "You had that too? I had that too. I had that too." Like, it's crazy.
That's what makes the program so rich, is that you can sit here and you can listen to everybody, talk about all their results,
Yeah.
and like, wow, okay. And you learn so much, and not just only for yourself, but like as I'm recognizing all of these things in all of my siblings and my daughters as well. So it's just an educational program that is really priceless. It's hard to explain how valuable it has been for me to go through this.
If
Mhm.
you guys wanna learn what the 5 pillars are to turn around autoimmunity that it took me the last 26 years to perfect, type in the chat right now, 5 pillars, and we'll share the 5 pillars training with you. Go ahead and do that right now. If you guys haven't joined the Facebook group, go ahead and click the link above or below this video and join the Facebook group, Transform Autoimmune Disease Naturally, to get wonderful live content, bonus trainings just like this.